Hi everyone, my name is Hari. I am a VP, and this is my wonderful team, which will introduce everyone shortly. It's a big team. So our issue that we were looking into is about creating some kind of dynamic task management tool for clinicians. We decided to call it CRANK, or Clinical Ranking System. Now, currently we have various ways that we can prioritize tasks for ourselves. Often these are just manual things that doctors will do for themselves. They'll create a task list on a piece of paper or on their phone, or some EHRs do have task lists available. But the limitation of all of these things is that they are not dynamic. They don't keep up with real-time requests and things that come through during the day. There's a lot of cognitive sort of fatigue involved in needing to triage and reprioritize these tasks as they come up throughout the day. And the idea behind our solution is that we'll have something that takes some of that burden away from you, while still allowing a clinician to have some level of autonomy and control over how to actually prioritize their tasks if they want to override that.
Great. So we decided to split up our implementation into two parts. First, the full stack web app, which is created using the Flask framework, and then our model, which was created by Morgan and Harry. We have a demonstration, if I can, yeah. So we have a simple CRUD to do this app here, where doctors would be able to reorder their different deliverables and tasks, and delete any tasks if necessary. We also created a user login and registration system. And then, onto the model.
Yeah, so in terms of how we decided to go about this kind of allocation of tasks, we decided to use a machine learning model which is going to output a ranking. So at the moment we don't actually have any sort of data available to train this model, so what we have to do is we have to generate some synthetic task data. So you can kind of see a snippet of that in the bottom left of the screen. So we can see different tasks and lots of different categories and features of this task. We then simulated ranking of these tasks into groups, and then we trained the model to try and predict, based off the features of the task, where would this sit in a ranking. You can kind of see on this graph we've got a distribution of the errors, and you can see that generally in this fictitious data the model was fairly good. The idea would then be in real life we monitor user behaviour. So for example, which tasks were completed first, use that to generate new training data, which is kind of real clinician opinions, and use that to retrain the model over time, so that as we go forward we're going to better be able to rank tasks as they come in.
So just very quickly, an example workflow using an extremely simple example, such as a sick note that needs to be completed. So in this situation, perhaps an admin staff member would create a task that says a sick note needs to be completed, then allocate it to a particular practitioner. The task would be allocated and be given a triage category using a green, amber, red sort of system. Task priority can be reorganized based on how long it's been sitting in the pipeline, or if the clinician wants to change that, and then you check the task off the list.
So more than anything, I guess we learned how to work alongside each other. We're quite a diverse group, and we try to take everyone's skills into account.
Our big red kind of timing thing up here is working wonders. We're actually one time on time. So although it feels like there's a lot of pressure, you're all doing a great job, everyone. So we've got some time for the questions. I'll let you do the question.
The red, green, amber prioritisation, what is that based on? And have you thought about how you might, because like you used a lovely example of a receptionist or someone putting that in as a task. Have you thought about how you would help them to prioritise that?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a few different types of tasks, and we didn't have a chance to go into all of them. So that was an example of an admin task, for example, so a letter or a sick note or something that needs to be done. We're also thinking about things like prescription requests or results, etc. In terms of how the importance would be assigned, some of these things would be rule-based. So an example from a medication point of view would be if there's an anti-epileptic medication that has run low and the patient has requested it, it has a much higher ranking than, say, a statin medication for cholesterol, which is not going to have such a negative consequence for that patient. That's just an example from a medication point of view, and then we had different rules based on other task types as well. In terms of who assigns the task, so the admin person probably wouldn't be assigning the priority of the task. The idea is that the tool uses its knowledge to create that triaging system.
Great, thank you.
Any questions for Duchess?
Is this only targeting the GPs? So the admin will allocate a GP for it, or is it for the whole clinic?
It's for the whole practice. Yeah.
It's for the whole practice. I think task-specific might be allocated to a particular GP if the receptionist knows that this patient belongs to this particular doctor or whoever it is, so they're responsible.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you very